And welcome back, YouTube. This is Booster Buster, here with something super awesome. Today I got for you, from the Fate Grand Order series, a Lancer Kiyohime anime figure review. Now this particular anime figure comes from the very cool company, Phat, spelled P-H-A-T, and it comes to us in 1/7 scale. Now before we take a look at the particular figure, let's take a look at the box. Very simple, light and dark blue packaging on the front, with of course a picture of Kiyohime, and the logos on the bottom left. You got the official Type Moon sticker of approval and the company logo of Phat. On this side you have a full body picture of Kiyohime. On the back you have all the legal information, Kiyohime, and some more window packaging. And of course, on this side you have a close-up of the particular anime figure of Kiyohime. Now I gotta say, when I first seen this anime figure come up for pre-order, I had reservations about it. I was not sure if I really wanted to pre-order it because, honestly, the quality from the preview pictures did not look quite there. But, as we're about to see, I think it was a good decision at the end of the day, as we take our first glimpse at the anime figure herself, Lancer Kiyohime. Now as you can see, she's in a very interesting pose. She has the spear at the ready. It looks like she's about ready to do some sort of upswing with the spear. And the expression on her face leaves it to be more of a, maybe a showcase of technique, because it looks more of a smile on her face, or maybe she's just incredibly bloodthirsty and wants to take down her enemies as quick as possible. Now let's have a quick spin round of the anime figure herself. It consists of 3 pieces. The main body piece comes as one unit, the lance itself, and then the base. Very easy to assemble. Very easy to display. Now I will say this, I appreciate the small base on this particular anime figure because it makes it so much easier to try to display with other anime figures. If it had a large base, that large base would take up so much unnecessary space. This way I could just kind of put it more tightly with other anime figures and just kind of work around the spear. That's all you have to worry about, is the spear with this particular anime figure. Now, as we had that quick glimpse, let's, as always, go in for the more thorough review, starting with the base, working our way up. Now, as you can see, the base is a very lovely, clear bluish base. Almost like a dark ocean blue, which I really like. I really like that color blue, so I really enjoy that color. And it's ornated with a very lovely golden design, almost like the saint symbol right there, and then it kind of just looks almost like a leaf-like symbol all the way around. Very lovely. Where the base connects with the actual figure, I do have a bit of an issue with it. For whatever reason, it does seem to come a little bit loose, so I always kind of see myself having to push it back down. Not loose enough to pop out, but just loose enough where it's not all the way down, and it's a little bit annoying from when you're moving the figure. Because you just always feel a little bit of movement, like just enough to worry you, but at the end of the day I have not had it fall yet, and I'm really hoping it does not fall over time. So that is something to keep a lookout for in the future for this anime figure. Now, as we can see, she's wearing some sole sandal-like shoes. with just a very black base with a yellow stripe running all the way around it. Very lovely. Spear's going to be right there. Spear's going to probably get in the way of this review a little bit, so I apologize if we have some sweeping shots of the spear. And then for the toe, you have the big toe separated from the rest of the toes, as is per usual with this type of design. And socks that are about ankle high with some black guards underneath. Very lovely. Now on the back of here, we have some very lovely yellow bows that I just find as a very nice accent. And then we have these, I want to call them leg guards because they're way too long to be shin guards, but they're almost like those armored boots, but they're not boots because you could tell down here that she's wearing a different type of shoe. So it's a really odd wardrobe combination, but it fits the character quite well. I do like that. And then of course you have some armored pieces sticking out right here with some very lovely yellow frills at the top. And as you can tell, there's some decent movement right around the knee. You see some good muscle work there, which I do like quite a bit. Moving up to the thigh, you can see the upper thigh, it's just a straight no clothing right there. And then we go to the very, very odd combination as we reach the main part of the figure, and that's the swimsuit combined with the kimono, with the open kimono. It's a very odd swimsuit, or wardrobe combination, but that is what the character wears as a Lancer in the game. And I have to say, it's a very, it looks very odd, but it kind of grows on you the longer that you have it. As we could see, she's wearing some sporty yellow swimsuit bottoms with a very nice white frill around the edges. And for the other part of the swimsuit, for the top, it matches the bottoms. It's a very lovely yellow with white frills around the edges and just some simple white stripes for the straps. Now to the kimono part of the outfit, the more ornate, elaborate reason why you buy this anime figure. Now, I'm not going to lie, I do not know the parts of the kimono, so I do apologize for that. I'm going to be mislabeling them as I go along, but I'm going to try my best. So the undergarment here, which looks to be almost like a nightgownish type item, is a very lovely, almost see-through blue material with very lovely blue frills at the bottom that go, or ruffles that go all the way around. Very cute. And then the next layer of clothing looks to be the main kimono piece itself, with this very lovely white. For the main part of the kimono, edged by this very lovely green lining that goes all the way around this very lovely anime figure. I love that quite a bit. And continuing on that part, as you can tell, for the arms, it's very large, overtly large as per kimonos are. And it is edged with this very lovely yellow frills and yellow bow ties at each end of the arms. Very lovely. The centerpiece of this kimono is tied together by this belt-like object with a big yellow bow tie right in the middle there. Very, very lovely. Stands out. Very well done. I love that quite a bit. That acts as a belt right at the waist. And then you have this additional large belt where I believe everything else is kind of tucked into for all the excess fabric. That wraps around into this very lovely gold-edged bow tie around here that it culminates in this very awesome black bow tie. I love that quite a bit. And then you have the motion of that black belt just kind of flowing straight in the wind into these coattails that are ornate with these very, very lovely, well-designed edge pieces here. And with the motion in the wind, it looks like she's right in the middle of a swing. Just so much motion, so much energy. Just love it quite a bit. As you could tell, you could see probably the ornate pieces in there that are very, very well painted. So that is the majority of the kimono right there. Before we get to the face, I do want to take a look at this neck piece here that kind of wraps around the neck, just a little bit of like a choker. It's a very lovely white and black, almost choker-like around the neck. Very lovely. Alright, so with that being said, it's time for the make it or break it part of any anime figure. As you guys know, we're going to be taking a look at the face and the hair. I want to save the spear for last because I do believe the spear is quite a beast on its own, and I do kind of want to go over that at the end. As you can tell, her hair is a very lovely, I'd almost say like blue-green / aqua blue, and I do like that quite a bit. The front of the hair looks very, very well done. Not really spaghetti, almost pretty realistic for non-moving plastic, I gotta say. The front part of the hair looks really well. I do like how the bangs come down. They're sharp, they're edged. You can see quite a lot of individual pieces in there, and then it comes down to these little bangs to the side, which once again do look quite well made. Honestly, this is some of the better hair for front piece that I have seen in a while. Now the face, probably one of the more confusing pieces of this particular anime figure. As you can tell, her eyes are wide open, but almost directionless. Her nose is very well built. Her mouth is that semi-smile, almost reminds me of the Mona Lisa, but a little more energetic. To me, it looks like she's either in a frenzied trance or almost directionless, like she's trying to show emotion, but not. I get an awkward feeling from the face. It doesn't really come out for me as more as other anime figures have in the past. Because with the wide eyes and the smile, I get almost a manic feel. Maybe she is thirsting after the blood of her enemies. I don't know. But it's either that or she's content into showing her battle skills almost in like a showcase, not a real fight, but in a spar, maybe a showcase of ability. I'm not quite sure what that smile is supposed to be. I apologize about that. And then we take a look at the ears over here. We have some very, very lovely spiked ears here. Or ear guards, sorry. I love that quite a bit, and of course it appears on each side. Not ears, but they're like ear guards, but what do you call them? The hair pieces? Is that right? Like a hairpin? Very, very lovely, very sharp. Honestly, those could probably be taken off and used as like a little ninja star or something if she needed to. Very lovely. You do see the ear pulled, or with the hair pulled over there. That is very cute. And then on to the back of the hair. Now the back of the hair, oh, that kind of looks like a brain to me. The way the hair is part of there, it kind of looks brainish to me. Not really hair-like, more brainish. I love the yellow bows that are held to make the twin tails here. That is very lovely. And the twin tails themselves actually look quite well. I love how almost translucent it gets toward the end here, just to show you how much lighter it is, how much less hair there is down there as opposed to the top of the hair, and how translucent it would be if light was hitting it. So I love that quite a bit. The twin tail look looks quite fine, just not a huge fan of this particular part of the hair right here. Overall, this anime figure is pretty good. Now let's take a look at the final piece, the main attraction to this piece, the Lancer that makes Kiyohime Lancer. As we can tell, now to attach the Lancer, it wasn't too bad. Getting it through the first hand here was pretty simple. Getting it through this hand was a bit tighter. It did not quite want to go. The hand kind of had to be opened a little bit more to get it in there. So, if you display it with the lance, it will damage this hand over time because that hand will not go back to its original position. To keep that in mind. And the lance head did come off, so you could easily slide the lance shaft through the hand, but it does not want to go back on as easily as it comes off. You really kind of have to wedge it in there. It really did not want to reattach to the lance shaft. I don't know why, it barely, I mean, I had to almost force it. I thought I was going to break it. So do be wary. For whatever reason, you may have to shave a little bit off of the inside lance, but not too much or else it ain't going to connect. So it's kind of that situation where you got to be very careful. But other than that, let's take a look at the lance itself. Now the edge of the lance here is very, very magnificent. Looks just like you think a lance should look, so I like that quite a bit. The blue tassels, or I'm not quite sure you call that, like fur, blue hair coming off of the lance here, very elegant, shows quite a bit of motion, like it's just being in the middle of use, just being in the middle of tossed around, just such elegant motion with the blue hair effect here. Is it flame? Is it flame or is it hair? I'm not quite sure, but that just looks very, very lovely. I like that quite a bit. The shaft itself is actually quite well done. It has a lot of ridges, a lot of going up, and it looks very greenish blue, which I like quite a bit. It looks very well done. And then I'm going to have to tilt it a little bit here just to get it in focus. The top of the lance here looks really, really good. I love the two ornate pieces that come off with the blue fur here, just very, very lovely. I love that quite a bit. And then of course the tip of the lance looks really, really nice as well. Now the nice thing about this is because it's adjustable, you can lower the lance down a little bit. That's why it's not sticking up so much if you need to fit it in a space that isn't so tall. If you don't have enough height room to store this anime figure, because I have a good, I'd say I have a good inch where I can move this down if needed to. So if I need that extra space, I can move it down. Now to keep in mind, that's gonna leave more of a dead space on your shelf because the lance will take up much more room, but you could probably work around it if you're good at managing your figures. Overall, I have to say Lancer Kiyohime probably deserves a good 8 out of 10. I really, really like the design. It matches the character from the game almost spot on. My big issue with it is probably the looseness of the base. It just has that little bit of wariness that kind of worries me. And probably my next biggest issue is just the expression on her face. It's just so hard to read exactly what she's going for. But like I said, I just see it as either she's bloodthirsty or she's just kind of in a showcase of her abilities. That's the kind of expression I get from her face. Well, with that said, I think this about wraps up this review. This has been Booster Box Buster with a Lancer Kiyohime 1/7 scale anime figure review, made by the company Phat Company, from the very awesome game Fate Grand Order. Signing out.